Morning, y'all. Carlyle Phelps here. Got another poem for you. This was called The Swing of Things. Where do I begin? Getting back into the swing of things. Do I start with haymakers laying out evil and in a paper ring? Maybe grand slamming imagination to nosebleed seating. Standing up to dragons without fear of fleeing? I can barely lift my pen, let alone swing a tree or beam. Throwing hands when I can't even hold a dream? Truth is a bit heavy in unpracticed hands, it seems. Maybe, with subtlety, I'm a tiny needle threading seams, weaving in and out of a latticed social fabric. Despair, hinged hope, fraying at modern rubric. Trying to use a new patch on old cotton diptych. Steady me, O Lord, that this needle may be veristic. I am the sinner and an unprofitable servant. This confession ought precede any form of movement. In mercy come near, solemnly, you remnant, to the altar where grace imbues the sacrament. There is no more subtle or grand swing than bowing where end marries beginning. I hope you all like that one. I said in my last poem I posted, I guess, I've been struggling to write. So when I talk about getting back in the swing of things, for me, that's largely me getting back in the swing of writing again. And no, for those of you who are wondering, the friend I mentioned passed away. It was not Charlie Kirk. I'm not referencing that. It was a personal friend of mine who passed. But I can see how, given the circumstances, we can kind of take away regardless of. Yeah, even my father pointed out that this poem seemed kind of fitting given the global circumstances right now. And so this poem was in a large way written because I was struggling to write and trying to get back in the swing of things, but it's also in response to some of the people who are asking, in light of what's going on, what do we do now? What do we do? How do we move forward? Well, there are plenty of things we can do. I think we should consult our spiritual fathers and the church and look at the example that the saints have set. But one thing that I know that we can all do and that we should all do is we start with acknowledging what we are. We are the sinner. We are the unprofitable servant. That's where we start. That's the first step. That's the stance you take before you swing anything. But then the first swing you make after you take the stance, well, you swing your knees down, bowing before the king. Go to church, repent, get baptized, receive communion. That's the universal steps, universal swing. And from there, it gets a little more individualized. But let's start there. Let's start there before we try recreating a nation. Let's start with recreating ourselves. Or rather, allowing God to recreate us. Maybe, if we become saints, we can save a soul or two through the grace of God. Anyway, grace and peace be with y'all.